Hey man, we're making a little test tube spider guy. He's gonna be interesting by the time he's done because he's technically see-through too. So we're gonna have some interesting contrasts going on here. The beetle is done, yes. I have a few posts on my shorts of it. So if you want to see it, that's probably the best place. It's in the other room right now. But yeah, we did finish the beetle guy on Saturday. I try to work on a new piece every week. So we got a little test tube spider here we're working on. He's going to be very interesting because I'm going to try to make the background completely black like this one, but he's still going to be translucent. So it'll be a very interesting contrast by the time we're done. None of the regulars here yet. If you guys are new, feel free to drop a sub, drop a like. It's going to be a long time coming on this guy. He's kind of just a drawing in fruition. We'll see. I'm a little shaky today. I don't know if you can tell, but it's kind of hard to keep my tremors in check. No worries. I appreciate you, man. My two recent shorts are about this, or have the beetle in it. Yeah, he's looking a little rough so far, but we'll clean him up as we go. If you guys are new, feel free to drop a sub. You get to see some of my other stuff. I do a lot of shorts. I also am live here almost every day. Lately, it's been almost every day. So if you want to catch the next live, definitely drop a sub. We still got the background, the line work, the shading. We got a lot, so it'll be all week long, essentially. And we'll have the completely black background like I usually do, like in this guy here, but it'll be kind of see-through through the tube too, so we'll kind of see how we're going to do that. Where am I from? I'm from the US, Oregon specifically. Early as hell where I'm at. I am family friendly. Well, I try to be. Occasionally I let a couple swears out, but yeah, I generally am not going to say much. I'm not. I don't have the kids setting on just because I don't want to have to filter myself. But generally, we are family friendly here. I got moderators in the chat. Usually, I don't know if they're up yet. I appreciate that. This guy's a work in progress. He's not really going to be that cool yet. He's going to take a while to start looking pretty sick, in my opinion. I'm kind of picky with him. I don't think it starts looking very cool until the end, but I'm just not always a big fan of my drawings. Like, I liked this drawing, but it wasn't just like a banger like some of the other ones, so I'm relying more on the wood burning to make it kind of come through of the vision. If you guys are new, feel free to drop a sub. I appreciate it. A little wonky there, but we can round them out right here. When in doubt, symmetry. It would burn. It would probably give me a 3rd-degree burn if I touch the tip of this. It's running at like 800, 900 degrees, so yeah, it would just instantly give me a 3rd-degree burn. Hey, welcome in. No worries, man. Just a new design. Kind of working it through. He's gonna look kind of lame for the first few days. At least that's what I always say. We got a lot of viewers today for the beginning stages, so you guys get to see what it looks like before it starts looking really cool. Oh yeah, it's scorching hot. It's red hot half the time. If you leave it go and let it just heat up, the iron or whatever it is, the steel will actually get red hot. I mean, it's to the point where this bit didn't used to be shaped like this. This is from pressure and heat. The fact that it's heating up and I'm putting pressure on it has slowly bent it into this shape. So it's hot enough to get the iron or the steel like malleable. Thank you. Yeah, we're working on this guy. We'll see how he looks by the end. Kind of an off week for me, honestly. I'm just not feeling mentally here. So, not well, I mean, it's going to be a banger, but you should have seen last week's. Last week's was sick. Really proud of last week's. I mean, not quite. I don't not really like glass in much ways. You're just burning wood. It's kind of like tattooing, if anything. And if any of these look a little thick on the side or anything like that, it's going to be fine because the background's going to be completely dark and it's going to kind of take away from any issues I create. With wood burning, you're always going to make mistakes. Fire acts in weird ways. Can't always predict it. You can get used to it, but you can't really always predict it. Welcome in, Wolfie Storm. And then you'll see the sun behind the test tube, but we'll kind of get there eventually. I don't have very good control. I got tremors, so it's kind of hard for me to always keep my bit completely still. So I do this with a disability too. Multiple, actually. Oh, I appreciate that. So I had to lock in for the bubbles. How long did it take the one in the back? About a week. If I had to give an hour count, it was probably about like 20 hours. That one's a favorite of mine, honestly. This is kind of an abnormal size for me. I'm just kind of trying to work through some wood I have. This is usually the size I work with, if not a little bigger or other sizes of this variety. But right now I just got some small ones I need to work through because, I mean, a lot of it, a big wood company is going out of business right now, so I'm just kind of buying what's on sale. Walnut Hollow is a big raw wood company, and they are going out of business, so about to get a little more difficult for us wood burners. What do I call the subject? Like the little guy we're doing here? I don't know. We haven't given him a name yet. I'm not really even sure what his title is going to be. Probably something test to be some subject. Test subject something. Give him a number or something. Welcome in, Shoof. Doing good. Other than it being a Monday. Gotta go back to work. Steven Universe, hell yeah, I could fuck with that. Oh, sorry. Been trying to filter myself. I like Steven Universe though. It's a good show. Does it smell bad? No, it smells like a campfire. It smells like I'm going camping in my garage. It's a little dark, but we can come back in with the X-Acto blade and lighten it up. I'm not sure where that went to. Unimportant. We will fix it later. Like I said, you will always make mistakes with wood burning. You're essentially having to control fire. Where am I from? I'm from U.S., Oregon specifically. Wasn't really born or raised here though, so not really where I'm from. But I don't really want to dox myself either. If you guys are hanging out, feel free to tap that like button. Bigger stream than I thought it would be today. My Monday streams are usually pretty slow. No worries. We'll be here for a little bit. We're just doing the line work today, and then tomorrow we'll be doing the background. We'll make the whole background into black, kind of like this guy back here. So even the behind the sun will all be black, and then we'll kind of give the shade to the inside where the sun isn't, so it kind of looks translucent, and you can see the darkness from the background. But it'll make more sense once we get there. Hopefully, some of you guys can see my vision too. A lot of it is just me working on a vision. Sadly, it'd be too late for another keychain link. I don't have any way to erase. It's just supposed to look like he just broke off you know, he was hanging on the ceiling or something on a mad scientist's wall. Yeah. So you'll still see the bubbles and stuff in there. It's just gonna be slightly. You'll still see darkness, so it'll kind of have this like translucent effect, but it'll be kind of darker in the areas that the background is and not the sun. Hey, thank you, Cursed Ravioli. This is our next one. He's a work in progress. He probably won't even make my top 10 list, but I do like him so far. I appreciate that. I really don't feel like I have that much talent. A lot of it is hard work. I have been practicing for a while. You can kind of see the background through the glass too. You can see that there. Just ever so slightly. So we'll shade that in the background too and make that more depth. The more we can just differ the depth, the more it's going to look cool by the end. We just want different contrasts of depth. I appreciate that. I've gotten kind of good at perspective. I really like perspective drawings and stuff like that. It's one of my favorite things to do. Um I don't know. I really like shadows and perspective and stuff like that. Yeah, and anyone who came from the other streams can attest that it looks vastly different by the end. It comes together greatly compared to now. Nah, you gotta stick around if you want to see the translucent thing. I'll be doing it in the next stream-ish, if not the next stream after that, so... Today's line work, and we're on schedule, you know? Depends on the question. I may not answer it. Thank you. We're working on a little alien spider guy. I'll have you know I made sure there was 8 eyes too in there. Oh, that's not very personal of a question, but okay. Uh, it is generally I get them online. You can get them online for a pretty decent price sometimes. Like I said, one of the biggest companies is going out of order or out of business, so it's going to get more expensive. But you can source it yourself. You basically will just need a miter saw. You need something that can cut in planks, and then you need a sander of some sort. It's something I want to work on. It's something I want to work towards, but it is expensive, and I don't really have the shop space for it right now. If I had the shop space for a whole miter saw, that would be. I mean, I might be able to fit it, but it's also that's going to be a couple $100. Plus, I have to worry about sawdust. What are y'all talking about beans for? Beans, what the fuck? Yeah, it kind of is a tattoo machine in a way. They work a lot like tattoos. Doing wood burning and tattooing are probably the closest things. Like I've actually known quite a bit of tattoo artists that will do wood burning on the side, so they're just very similar. A little bit of both. I make them because they're therapeutic. I really do enjoy the process. I really do enjoy the art. Do I push myself to do a little bit more than I'd be comfortable doing on my own watch? Yeah. People seem to like it a lot, and people see a lot of potential in my art. So I just want to keep it going. I want to keep the pressure on myself to keep producing just to see what I can come up with. I don't want to break myself, obviously, but I don't know. I want to give myself some pressure to actually perform. I couldn't really get into Has Been Hotel, honestly. I wasn't really one for those kind of cartoons. I didn't really like what was that other one that was kind of honestly I couldn't remember it. One of the kids going through puberty. Wasn't really a big fan of that one. So yeah, if it's wet, it's not going to burn very well. And you want to use light woods. Specifically, light woods are going to burn better, and you need to let them dry out. Or if it's still live and it was not a dead tree that you cut, then it's going to take significantly more power to burn through it. Because there's still a lot of moisture in the wood. But yeah, you usually want to go for dead trees. I wouldn't be cutting live trees unless you plan to replant them. You got to make sure this hobby is self-sustaining, you know? get rid of all the wood, then what are we gonna burn on? I appreciate that, Shoof. Yeah, it'll be cool once we get the background done next stream. Because I'll do the whole background and then I'll kind of come in with a light bit and we'll shade the background behind the test tube. So the test tube is still going to be like a pop, and you're still going to see the whole. It's going to be dark in the back comparatively, and then the whole beast, I guess, of sorts, is going to be very light compared to the whole thing. So that he's going to pop, but he's still going to have some darkness where the background would be. Have I ever gotten burned with my wood burner? Yes, I have. I've done it live on TikTok before, not on purpose, but I just was bored burning on TikTok and burnt myself. Thank you. I appreciate that, guys. And Shoof, yes, you can tell a joke as long as it's stream safe. Yeah, no, if it's a felled tree that already has been dead for a while, you should be pretty fine. You just want to make sure you miter saw it into planks, and then you would use a sander of some sort, any belt sander, disc sander, even sandpaper, to sand it out to wood burning ability. I'm making some of these spikes a little further out because I didn't like how close they were. That's what's cool about drawing in pencil. You can go off of it, not have to follow it completely. I use charcoal pencil too. I don't know if anyone cares, because the reason I use charcoal pencil is A, it's safer to burn over, and B, charcoal is so much easier to erase from wood than regular lead or whatever the graphite it is. Graphite takes a lot of work to get off of wood. I learned that the hard way. A bit of a long joke. Oh, nice. Yeah, you got the pressure of being on stream to perform, then you get hurt. I get it. I've done it before. I'll tell you what, it didn't take very long to finish our line work. I'm going to run it over with an eraser. We'll swap out bits and we'll start the background. So to show you, we were using that line work bit, and now we're going to use something that has a bit more surface area. It has like a flat area that you can kind of draw around on the surface with, and cover a bit more surface with it. What was my inspiration behind this guy? I don't know. I really like spiders, and I really was, I just think of random stuff, and for some reason a test tube came into my brain this time. I was like, I really want to do like a test tube with like eyes in it or something, and I was like, okay, let's do a spider again, and then let's make sure it has 8 eyes in the thing. In the thing. Wow, very descriptive. I gotta erase this off. I will be right back. I'm still here. I just gotta, so you guys can feel free to ask any questions. I mean, yeah, you can give ideas. I don't know if I'll guarantee take them. If you guys are patrons, I'm a bit more obligated and obliged, I guess is the right word, to do some of your requests. I also do commissions, if anyone wants to commission me. I did forget a line, so we'll have to do that with the other bit. You can see here, I forgot that line. See, you're not supposed to do this, but you can use other bits for other things if you do it creatively. I'm just going to use the pointy part. See, it works. I've done some similar to Stranger Things piece. And I mean, I've definitely done some Beatles and stuff like Hollow Knight, so I definitely have inspiration from stuff like that. Am I going to do a fandom piece? Probably not, not unless you commission me. And even if I do a fandom piece, I'm probably not going to do it spot on. Oh, nice. I appreciate that. I mean, I love hearing about other woodburners too, so I wish your friend the best of luck with their woodburning. But here you can kind of see what we're doing here and what I mean by that black background of we'll just be scorching this entire thing black. But in here where the background is will also be black, but it will just have a slightly lighter tone to it to kind of make it look like there's liquid. What is it? I don't know. I couldn't give you an answer for half my art pieces. It is art. It is my weird brain at the end of the day. Exactly. I appreciate that. We had Bobby the business beetle from last stream. He was our beetle business. We had the same mad scientist probably worked on this guy, you know? Mutated a spider, put his eyes in a jar, and then put his legs on that jar. Yeah, you definitely have to be careful. You have to have good hand-eye coordination. Be conscious of where your hands are at. Like if I like twist one way and forget where my hand is and like bump into it, you got to be cautious at all times where your hand is with the treat it like a flaming hot knife. A knife on fire is essentially what it would be. Working on a little test tube spider here. Oh, nice. Yeah, no, I work with a lot of constraints and disabilities too, so I feel that it's hard to be an artist if you got certain complications sometimes. But it's still doable. It's always still doable. Art can come from anything. That's what I never understand about the whole AI thing. Like you can be an artist. Why you gotta rely on AI? Oh yeah. There you go. It'll definitely smoke if I put pressure down for half a second, it'll definitely smoke. But if you can see, look at that burn I just left in there. I gotta figure that out now. the things I will do. Start a house fire. That was a joke. That was for legal reasons. That was a joke. Yeah, I always used to make jokes and profiles and stuff and just say I'm a legal arsonist. Yeah, I do it in the garage, luckily. I have a bird, so I have to be careful of the smoke smell. But yeah, no, it definitely does smell. I mean, what are we doing but legal arson right now? Watch that be a banned word on YouTube, and now I'm gonna get flagged. How much time does it take? Really depends on the piece. I mean, the little tiny guys can take like an hour. Um, these guys, probably. I mean, this guy will probably take more towards like the 15 mark, just because he's a bit smaller. 10 to 15. Do I draw with pencil beforehand? Yeah, you can actually see a bit of the pencil marks still left. I just erased a bit of it on stream. But yeah, I use charcoal pencil because it A, erases on wood better, and B, it's safer to burn. I appreciate that. He's actually one of my favorites as well. He's called the Coastal Creep. We showed this guy on the um, shorts today, but he's a big favorite of mine as well. This one's called Malnourished. I even have a longer form video on my videos showing the process of making it. Sped up, obviously. I appreciate that, guys. Eating charcoal is not bad for you, actually. Charcoal is actually very good for your gut health. Charcoal in general is actually an extremely beneficial thing. Yeah, there is a type of their elephants will just eat charcoal. They will just eat charcoal by the handfuls to actually improve gut health. It's very good for water filters. It's antibacterial. It's anti. Yeah, there's so many good properties in charcoal, and that's what we're making here, charcoal. Yep, and carbon is one of the most important molecules in life. Yeah, it is covered with sealant. once it's done, if you can actually see this guy, you can see a bit of a shine to him. The burn parts kind of shine off the canvas now, and he almost looks 3D. I mean, he kind of is in a way. But this guy will be the same way once we're done. And we'll be shading it. We'll do in between the rings on the sun too. We won't be doing all of this shading today. I kind of just hopped over because we had extra time. Hey, welcome in all support. It's been kind of a poppin' stream for no reason. I don't even like my art. This art's pretty cool, but it's not like a top tier piece. But I still think it's pretty cool. I don't cut it myself. I wish. We were talking about that earlier. You just need a few tools to do that, but I don't really have the shop space or the money to buy the tools right this second. Good morning, Jem. Thanks, all support. Yeah, we've had like 20, 30 people in here almost all morning. It's been kind of crazy, you know? Yeah, it's morning for me. Maybe that's why I have a different country viewers here. Where's everyone from? Because I assume probably not America. Okay, you're from America. Probably East Coast. There you go. We got some Americans. Spooderman, Spooderman. Australia, hell yeah. I've always wanted to go to Australia. I want to see all the creepy crawlies. Eagle screeches in the background. America. I do sell my art. It's hey, all sport. Can you get rid of it's nah? You can just time them out. But how much? It's all linked in my bio. I actually have my Etsy down in my description. So if you want to check the description, you can check out my Etsy. I don't know if there's any sales running right now. I could probably do some more sales on my older work, but sorry, I just don't want that stuff being mentioned in the stream. You know, he's just baiting. Once it could be a joke, but twice you're just trying to get a reaction. I appreciate that, guys. He's going to be completely black back there. We're going to kind of darken it in between the rings, too. And then, like I said, we're going to kind of create like this translucent effect inside the test tube later on. And kind of make it look like there's darkness in there, too. Not nearly as much, so it still pops. Basically, the darker we can get the background, the better the contrast. Okay. It's a long-ass paragraph. I like all the bugs and snakes and stuff like that. I'm a bug and snake and creature enthusiast, man. You're talking to the wrong guy. I hear snakes and spiders and all that kind of stuff, and I'm like, hell yeah. Yeah, no, I've seen some of the huntsman or whatever spiders you got there that are like as big as dinner plates. Dude, I'd hold one. I would pet it like a dog. Yeah, I'm sure they do. They don't eat humans though. So I'm gonna pet it like a dog. The cycle of possums and spiders. Symbiotic eating. I have beef with koalas anyway. Koalas are like the laziest creatures that exist. I don't even know how they are still alive. Their immune systems are like insanely slowed. They don't reproduce. They're just very interesting animals. They sleep, I think it's like 18 to 22 hours a day. That's nuts, dude. Pandas are also like that. Pandas and koalas, man. I don't know how they're still alive. I have beef with their evolution. Seriously, I have beef with their evolution. I don't even know how they're still alive. Honestly, I do think that's part of the pandas. Pandas probably wouldn't still be alive if it weren't well, there's a big if there. Pandas actually could be bigger than they are right now if humans weren't around, hypothetically. There's a big old caveat there. Humans take care of pandas, but if humans weren't here, there's a chance pandas would have had no problems. Sorry, you guys got me on one of my favorite subjects, and that's animals. I go crazy for talking about animals. One might say that's my autism special interest. Pandas would be carnivores? No, they wouldn't. They don't have the. So you have to have the right gut bacteria to even eat that kind of stuff. You can't just become a carnivore if literally the only thing you can eat is bamboo. Hey, welcome in, Star Droplet. It's kind of how I feel about people who feed their dogs raw food. Sorry, not to get opinionated here. Evolution has done away with the red gut bacteria. You can't just make your dog have the right gut bacteria again. Oh yeah, hell yeah. We do lives occasionally. Kind of just show you the process. Bears aren't necessarily carnivores. Bears are omnivores. They are really only carnivores out of utility and the fact that they're so big. Really, I did not know. Did pandas actually eat animals that are now extinct? I don't know much about pandas, so that honestly could be something I did not know. Quite fascinating if that's true. We gotta fact check that. Well, a lot of it has to do with gut bacteria because if you have to have the right gut bacteria to be able to process things, like we can't go eat grass and have it digest like a cow does. You have to have the right gut bacteria to actually break down the stuff. So if they don't even have the right gut bacteria to eat meat, then they potentially never ate meat unless somehow that gut bacteria left. No, bears are omnivores, so they'll eat berries. That's why they always say to like lock up your food because they go for anything, and it's not just meat. We're not arguing about panda bears. We're just talking about panda bears. Not everything's an argument. I just didn't know that pandas might have eaten meat at one point. I want to know the validity of that. Obviously, that's a troll. You'd be dead. Sorry, what was your question, Skyline? I didn't. I think I saw you message earlier, and I didn't see what it said. Yep, that is why we cannot have regular milk. Enzymes and gut bacteria are basically the only thing you that dictates what you are able to eat. If you don't have the necessary gut bacteria, you cannot properly digest the food that you are consuming. Not to get all evolutionary and nutritional here. I appreciate that, Bobby Lump. Yeah, that's why some people are lactose intolerant. You just lack the gut bacteria. Stupid fruit fly. Almost at 40 likes, guys. If you guys are hanging out and want to help me reach some higher like counts, I'd appreciate it. We almost hit 100 the other day. I was real happy about that. Yeah, no, I'm not lactose intolerant, but I have a few disabilities that affect every day of my life, and one thing that I can't really eat very much is dairy. It makes my problems worse. So I feel you there. I am an oat milk guy as well. Almond milk isn't very good. Definitely try oat milk, man. You can make oat milk yourself even. It's not very hard. It's quite easy actually. You just soak oats in water. You can add some shit into it to make it taste better if you want, but yeah, no, oat milk is super cheap to make, um, and good. I can eat ice cream. It doesn't do well with my issues. So I usually eat other brands of ice cream, like oat milk ice cream or almond milk ice cream. Coconut milk ice cream is actually pretty good. Can't eat watermelon. That is a weird one. There's not even very much in watermelon but water. Ah, you just don't want to eat watermelon. See, now that's an actual can't. If you just don't want to do it because the texture's weird, that doesn't mean you can't eat it. That means you won't eat it. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the same way. I don't really like I love pizza and there's gluten-free, dairy-free pizza that I have a lot and it generally if you find the good ones, you don't really miss the old ones as much cuz you kind of forget what it tastes like. And sometimes you go back and you're like, "That's not as good as I remember." Like I'm gluten-free. I can't have gluten and I a pizza is one thing for me that I love. And I go back and I'll have regular pizza and it's just not as good as I remember sometimes. What time is it for me right now? Probably like 5:30 a.m. Whatever minute it is, it's probably about like 5 that. I don't have a second to check, so I'm focused. Or behind you. You're Australia, so I think you're a day ahead. You're on the you're in the nighttime of the day I'm starting. Yeah, you guys are all on the day ahead of me essentially because the Pacific Northwest is essentially at the beginning of the time zone exchange stuff. We're at the earliest time in the world essentially other than like I don't know if Alaska's any different or I guess Hawaii. Yeah, Pacific Northwest is one of the earliest in the world. Hey, what's up, Rewind? Welcome in. We're actually going to be wrapping it up shortly. We were only supposed to do the line work today, but here we are doing the shading already. Have I ever done a scorpion piece? Ages ago. Ages ago I did one. Probably one of my first 50 pieces I did, which was a long time ago at this point. It feels like 3, 4 years ago, but I mean it was 3 years ago. But yeah, no, I haven't really touched on scorpions in a while. Oh yeah, I got an Etsy full of stuff. There used to be over 150 stuff. There's probably more like 100 stuff on there now. Someone bought like 3 things from me yesterday, so I was happy with that. They were small little pieces though, so I may not always have small pieces. So if that's something you're interested in, definitely buy them up while they're there. I like working in big pieces, and I definitely will try to keep it budget friendly for people, but I just feel like I can be more artistic with the bigger pieces. Do I have a physical storefront? Not necessarily, no. I do in-person markets in my neighborhood. There's like a spooky market that goes around that I join, and I sell and I vend there. But I don't really have a physical place. I don't like I know you can like rent out like little cubicles and like thrift shops and stuff like or yeah, like old thrift shops, like antique stores is the word I'm looking for. In my area, I don't know. I don't know how well my art would do there. My stuff's a bit expensive for the amount of work that goes into it, or because of the amount of work that goes into it, not for it, because it's totally reasonable. For a lot of these pieces, I'm working under minimum or at least at minimum wage. The small guys are net negative, but whatever. That's kind of why I don't do them as much anymore. Yeah, no, I mean, I've definitely tried vending and stuff like that. It's just people don't make big purchases at vending events. What I usually sell at vending events, um, saying anything negative? What did I say negative? Um, the main thing at vending events that sells is small things, smaller items, stuff like that. But I never really had anyone spend much more than like $100. I appreciate that. That's honestly one of the best compliments I can get is saying my prices are reasonable. Because that's genuinely one of the hardest things to do as an artist is price your pieces. This guy will probably be under 100. But yeah, this guy generally people at markets do not spend more than $100. I've never really had someone spend more than 100. Yeah, I mean, we'll see how he gets when we're done, but I'll probably price this guy at like $95 ish, $90. I don't know. How do you start learning how to do this? Just buy a wood burner, man. You can buy these guys for pretty cheap online. Um, if you find my TikTok, I have it in my TikTok shop, but I got it everywhere. I mean, you can just search wood burners, buy some wood, and practice. A lot of it's going to be learning how fire works and just how it spreads, how it kind of acts. Your first few pieces may not be bangers, but just practice. Yeah, pricing your piece is like the hardest thing ever to do as an artist. I mean, eventually I want to start upping my game and start pricing things better so I can actually live off this. Because I mean, you can use a soldering iron. That's where I started. My shitty pieces I started with were all done with soldering irons, so it's definitely possible. Yeah, I mean, you can put any kind of algorithm you want to your price your work, but there's going to be people who tell you that's not worth it, especially if it's a higher end thing. So it's just you also have to keep in mind that you enjoy doing it. And if you do enjoy doing it, it's not necessarily a job the same way. I do remember you, Ishmita. I remember not pronouncing your name right a few times, and I probably did it again. Yeah, digital art's a hard game to start. I wish you the best of luck. Anyways, I think we are going to wrap it up. We are over an hour. Let's see if we can hit 50 likes. If there's a few people in here who haven't liked it, let's see if we can hit 50 real quick. But then we're gonna wrap it up. We'll probably be back on tomorrow, and we'll be doing more darkness in the background, kind of blast it back black, and then we'll kind of come in and add some detail shading. I appreciate you, Harry. I love inspiring others. If you guys ever want to try any of this, I encourage you to do it. It's really not that hard. It's got a big learning curve, but I genuinely think any of you guys could do it if you just, put your mind to it genuinely. That's why I don't like the AI push because it's like everyone's got the ability. You just got to keep pushing. It's okay if we don't hit 50. Anyways, I appreciate you guys. I'll probably be back on tomorrow. We'll finish up the background, start some detail shading, make it kind of pop more down here. This will be completely dark, kind of more like this color up here. So you'll see some contrast between this and our little guy. So he's gonna really kind of come together as we do this. He looked weird at the beginning, but I have good faith now. Anyways, come on guys, one more light. We're so close. Anyone not liked it yet? I want to hit 50. There we go. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys pushing that, and I will be back tomorrow. We'll see this guy come to life. See you guys. Thank you, Ravioli. Thank you, All Support, if you're still around.